I, the Lord, speak to you now, not in theory, not in mystery, but in clarity. I am not far from you. I have never been. Even when you could not feel me, even when your thoughts swirled in confusion, even when silence seemed to surround you like a cloak, I was there. And I am here now. Listen carefully. This is not an ordinary moment. This is not simply another message. This is a divine interruption, a sacred turning point, a moment long recorded in eternity, now unfolding in time. You are not here by accident. You were drawn here by my spirit. You may think you stumbled upon these words, but I have been guiding you all along, orchestrating details beyond your understanding. Every pause, every delay, every restless longing has brought you to this holy moment. I have something to say to you, something you were born to hear. You have carried so much. I see the invisible weight on your shoulders, the silent battles in your mind, the weariness you hide from others. I have watched you endure what should have broken you. I have heard the words you never spoke aloud, the questions buried deep in your heart. Do I matter? Am I seen? Will this pain ever make sense? My child, hear me now. I have seen it all, and not one tear you shed has been wasted. I have collected each one. I have held them like treasure, for they came from a heart still reaching for me in the dark. The world has called you too sensitive, too intense, too fragile. But I call you chosen, marked, set apart. You were never meant to blend in. You were never meant to follow the crowd. I placed something eternal in you, an echo of my own nature, and that is why your heart has always beat to a different rhythm. The pain you've endured is not proof of my absence. It is evidence of your calling. I have allowed you to walk through fires, not to consume you, but to refine you. I have let you feel the ache of loneliness, not to punish you, but to draw you closer to me. I have watched as people misunderstood you, left you, dismissed you, and still you pressed on. That perseverance, that resilience, that flicker of hope you refused to extinguish, that is what I placed within you before the foundations of the world. You are not weak, you are not late, you are not forgotten. You are exactly where I need you to be, and the season of revelation has come. You've asked me why the struggle has been so personal, so relentless. Why others seem to move forward with ease while you battle every step. Why doors close, opportunities vanish, and prayers feel unanswered. Hear me now, because your path has been sacred. I have been building within you a foundation that no storm can shake. I have hidden you not to deny you, but to protect you. I have delayed certain things not to frustrate you, but to prepare you. What you saw as rejection was actually redirection. What you felt as loss was often divine protection. I do not withhold without purpose. I do not delay without design. You are being shaped for something far greater than what you could see. I know you've questioned whether you still have time, whether your chance has passed, whether you're too tired or too broken to rise again. But I say to you, look again, feel again, hope again. I am not finished with you. In fact, I am just beginning. This moment marks the unveiling of what I have long placed within you. It is time to awaken. It is time to remember who you are. You are not what they said about you. You are not the sum of your failures. You are not the product of your trauma. You are mine. You are the one I chose, the one I preserved, the one I am now calling forward. Stop minimizing what I've placed in you. Stop apologizing for your depth, your passion, your intensity. These were not mistakes. They were blueprints. The same sensitivity that made you feel too much is the very sensitivity that makes you hear my whisper, feel my presence, discern my movement. You were never meant to live on the surface. I created you for the deep. That is why shallow things never satisfied you. That is why compromise always left you empty. That is why no title, no relationship, no accomplishment ever gave you lasting peace. Because peace comes only when you live in alignment with who I created you to be. And now I say this to you with urgency and love. Awaken. Shake off the dust of delay. Let go of the fear that has silenced your voice. The enemy has tried to convince you that you missed it, that you're too far behind, too disqualified, too damaged. But those are lies. Lies designed to keep you small, distracted, and quiet. I am breaking those lies right now. I am declaring over you a new season, a season of release, a season of clarity, a season where your voice will carry the weight of heaven, not because of your perfection, but because of your surrender. I never asked you to be flawless. I only asked you to say yes. Will you say yes again? Will you trust me beyond what you understand? Will you believe that this message is not just for others, but for you? Because I see you, I know you, I love you, and I have not changed my mind about you. The calling remains, the gifts remain, the purpose remains. Though time has passed and wounds have come, my intention for your life has never wavered. You may feel small, but you are a giant in the spirit. You may feel weary, but you are surrounded by angels. You may feel like giving up, but I am breathing strength into your soul. Let me remind you of something eternal. You were not made for survival. You were made for victory. You were made to walk in power and love and in the soundness of my spirit. You were made to carry my light into places that have never seen it. That is why the battle has been so fierce, because your presence threatens darkness. But you will not be overcome. You will rise. And when you do, the chains that once held you will become the keys that unlock others. So lift your head, my child. Look beyond the pain. Feel the stirring within you. That is me. That is your spirit bearing witness. You are not who you used to be. You are being reborn in the revelation of who I've always said you are. And this very moment is where everything begins to change. My child, now that your spirit has begun to awaken, let me show you what has really been happening all along. You have spent years interpreting your wounds as punishment, your silence as abandonment, and your struggles as disapproval. But I tell you now, those afflictions were not signs that I turned away from you. They were the tools I used to forge you in fire. You are not broken. You are battle-tested. You are not discarded. You are being developed. You have not been left behind. You have been held in place by divine hands until the timing was made perfect. I do not rush greatness. I do not push unprepared vessels into weighty callings. And I certainly do not build on shallow foundations. That is why I allowed the shaking. That is why I permitted the sifting. That is why you walked through years of contradiction, because I was preparing someone who could not be moved when the weight of glory arrives. You asked me, why does it hurt so much? Because the deeper the calling, the deeper the carving. Every cry was cutting away fear. Every loss was removing false identity. Every disappointment was severing attachments that could not go where I am leading you. You wanted a quick breakthrough, but I needed a lasting transformation. I am not interested in momentary success that fades under pressure. I desire to make you a vessel that can carry my fire and not be consumed. The pain you've endured has not been meaningless. It has been measured. I permitted only what was necessary, not more, not less. And yes, even in the midst of your lowest moments, I was there, present, active, speaking, refining. When others walked away, I leaned closer. When your own heart doubted, my spirit stayed. I never stopped working on your behalf, even when you were unaware. And now I am pulling back the curtain so you can finally see the purpose behind the process. You thought you were losing everything, but in truth, I was stripping away the excess, the false dependencies, the distractions that threatened to dilute your anointing. You believed the closed doors were rejections, but they were divine protections. You assumed you were being punished for mistakes, but I was allowing consequences that would reroute your destiny to its rightful path. My child, I discipline those I love not with cruelty, but with care. I correct not to wound you, but to wake you. You are precious to me, too precious for comfort to become your idol. too valuable to let ego blind your sight. That's why I had to let the fire touch you, not to destroy you, but to prove what could not burn. There is gold inside of you. There is revelation that only pressure could extract. And now what was once hidden in suffering is beginning to surface in strength. I did not raise you to live in cycles of defeat. I raised you to recognize them and break them. You were not created to repeat generational pain. You were created to reverse it. That is why your story has been marked by resistance, because you are the one I have chosen to disrupt what has been allowed to persist for too long. The chains did not start with you, but they will end with you. The wounds you inherited will become the testimony others follow. Do not despise your path. Do not envy the easier journeys of others. You carry what they do not. You were called to stand in fire and come out radiant. And yes, I know it has been lonely. I know you have cried into your pillow, questioning if I still speak. I know you have sat in rooms full of people and felt completely unseen. But what man failed to recognize heaven honored in silence? You were never overlooked by me. You were being sanctified in secret. And in that hiddenness, I whispered truths that others never heard. I revealed myself to you in ways that cannot be taught, only experienced. You carry weight in the spirit because you've walked through places no one else could walk for you. That weight was not gained in moments of applause. It was formed in nights of agony, of wrestling, of surrender. And now I say to you, do not be ashamed of your scars. They are not signs of failure. They are emblems of survival. They are markers of divine training. They are proof that what was meant to kill you failed, and now you live with authority. My beloved, I am not looking for perfect vessels. I am looking for surrendered ones. And you, yes, you have learned surrender the hard way. That is why you will carry power that others cannot manufacture. That is why your words will cut through noise. That is why your presence will shift atmospheres. Because you were not shaped in spotlight, you were shaped in silence. You do not need to strive to prove your worth. You do not need to compete for position. What I've given you, no one can take. What I've planted in you, no one can uproot. And what I'm doing now will make sense of all you've suffered. Soon, those who doubted you will witness your rising. But this is not about vindication. It is about fulfillment. I am bringing you into the place where pain becomes purpose and trials become testimony. I will use the very things that tried to crush you as platforms for my glory. So, my child, breathe. Rest in what I am revealing. Let the past fall away like old garments. You no longer have to wear shame. You no longer have to hide your story. I will use it. Every part, every piece. Nothing will be wasted. Not the sleepless nights, not the failed attempts, not the broken relationships. I redeem all things, and I will redeem your story not only for your sake, but for those you are called to lead. This is why you could not quit. This is why you could not disappear. This is why you kept getting back up when everything told you to stay down. Because I preserved you for such a time as this. You are not at the end. You are at the beginning. You are not diminished. You are being unveiled. And every scar, every ache, every tear, they are working for you an eternal weight of glory. So lift your eyes, raise your head. The fire did not destroy you. It revealed you. You are my chosen. You are my remnant. You are my vessel. And I am not ashamed to call you mine. My beloved, now that your spirit has begun to perceive the shaping behind the struggle, let me take you even deeper into the truth of your identity. Many times you've asked, why do I feel so different? You have felt things others did not. You have sensed shifts in the atmosphere before anything happened. You have entered rooms and picked up unspoken grief, unseen tension, invisible warfare. You have wept without understanding why, carried burdens that were never yours, discerned deception in smiling faces. And for all of this, you have often wondered if something was wrong with you. But I say to you now, those are not defects. They are the fingerprints of divine distinction. You were never meant to walk blind. You were never meant to be numb to the spiritual world. I placed within you a radar for my movement, a sensitivity that cuts through illusion, a discernment not born of intellect but of intimacy. What others call oversensitivity, I call prophetic awareness. From your earliest memories, you knew you didn't quite belong. You questioned rules that others followed blindly. You wrestled with meaning, with purpose, with pain. You felt the weight of injustice. You noticed beauty in the hidden things. You could never settle for surface-level answers, and shallow faith never satisfied your soul. Why? Because your spirit remembers me. Even before you understood who I was, your heart longed for me. You weren't just searching for truth, you were searching for home. And I have watched as this longing set you apart, caused others to misunderstand you, and even made you reject yourself at times. But hear me now, the longing itself was a gift. It was proof that you were designed to live in alignment with heaven. You have often felt out of place even among people of faith. You've walked into churches and felt unseen. You've spoken truth and been silenced. You've poured out love and received distance. But even in the rejection, I was working. I allowed it not to isolate you, but to insulate you. You were not meant to blend into broken systems. You were not meant to water down your passion to maintain comfort. I have called you to stand apart not with arrogance, but with authenticity. That tension you carry, the ache to belong, but the inability to conform, that is sacred. That is the space where revelation is born. You see, I do not use those who are addicted to approval. I use those who fear my voice more than they fear rejection. And you, my child, have been learning this in fire. The very things that made you feel disqualified are the same things that make you usable. You feel too deeply. Then you will intercede with power. You notice too much. Then you will speak with accuracy. You love too intensely. Then you will carry the weight of broken people with compassion and not break. You have wondered why your emotions run so strong, why your senses feel overwhelmed, why your silence becomes loud when others speak empty words. It is because your spirit is alive and alert. It is because I have tuned you to respond not just to what is seen, but to what is unseen. You are not broken, you are built for spiritual battle. This is why relationships have been hard. You have not been able to remain in shallow bonds. You crave depth. You seek truth. You hunger for conversations that move the soul. And when others cannot meet you there, you feel lonely. But I say to you, your loneliness is not evidence of failure. It is the consequence of being set apart. Those who are marked by heaven will never find lasting comfort in the crowd. You were created for communion with me first. And from that place I will surround you with others who carry the same frequency, those who know what it means to be misunderstood and still stand. They are coming. But first I needed you to know who you are without needing others to affirm it. There is a reason why you notice patterns in people others don't see. Why you are grieved by things others celebrate. Why you feel a stirring when my spirit moves even if no one else acknowledges it. These are not coincidental quirks. These are signs, indicators, reminders. I gave you eyes to see beyond the natural ears, to hear beyond the noise, and a heart that breaks when heaven is grieved. That is why compromise hurts you more than others. That is why disobedience leaves you restless. That is why you cannot fake peace. You are not designed for performance. You were created for presence. And my presence is what your spirit recognizes above all else. Even your body responds to the unseen. You've felt sudden waves of emotion, bursts of spiritual pressure, moments when tears came without warning. You've awakened in the night feeling a burden you couldn't name. You've heard me whisper when logic said you were imagining things. And still you question. Still you wonder if it's real. My child, it is real. It has always been real. And the more you surrender to it, the more I will increase it. You do not need to be afraid of this sensitivity. It is not a weakness, it is a weapon. I am raising up a remnant, and you are part of it. A people who will not be seduced by shallow religion, who will not bow to culture's idols, who will walk in purity and power because they have been set apart. That is why your path has been different. That is why your convictions are heavier. That is why you cannot remain silent when truth is distorted. You are not better than others, but you are chosen for something specific, something weighty, something holy. And to carry that, I had to teach you how to feel again. The world tried to numb you. Pain tried to harden you, but I would not let it. I fought for your heart when you wanted to shut it down. I preserved your tears when you wanted to stop caring. I whispered to your spirit even when your mind was flooded with lies. Because I saw what you could not, that your sensitivity would become sacred ground, that your awareness would become divine strategy, that your refusal to grow cold would allow my fire to remain alive in you. You have not lost your edge. You have not lost your place. You are exactly who I designed you to be. So stop hiding, stop apologizing, stop second-guessing your spiritual senses. They are not accidents, they are assignments. They were given so you could navigate dark places with light, discern truth in deception, recognize my voice in the storm. Do not silence the parts of you that I've activated. Do not mute your gifts to fit into rooms I never called you to stay in. It is time to walk boldly in the fullness of who you are, not who you wish you were, not who others expect, but who I, the Lord, say you are. You are my beloved seer. You are my intercessor. You are my atmosphere shifter. You are my echo in the earth. And the time has come for you to trust what I've placed within you. No more downplaying it. No more hiding behind humility. Real humility is agreeing with what I say. So agree now. Agree with me. Agree that your difference is divine, that your tears are prophetic, that your dreams are not just imagination, but impartation. You are not common. You never have been. And now I am calling you out of confusion and into clarity. My child, if you still wonder whether your path is too strange, too painful, or too misunderstood to be divine, let me take you into the stories I myself have authored, the lives of those who carried great purpose and were shaped in fire just like you. You are not the first to be hidden. You are not the first to cry alone in the wilderness. You are not the first to wrestle with identity, calling, and worth. The scriptures are filled with those who walked the same lonely path you now walk, not because they were forgotten, but because they were chosen. Consider Joseph, my servant who dreamed as a child, who saw visions of purpose and greatness. Yet before he saw the fulfillment, he was rejected by his brothers, thrown into a pit, sold as a slave, falsely accused, and imprisoned. Do you think he did not ask, Lord, did I imagine the dream? But every delay in Joseph's life was divine positioning. Every injustice was part of the training. He learned wisdom in captivity. He learned integrity in obscurity. And when the time was right, I raised him in a day to stand before kings. So too with you. The delays have not been denials. They have been layers of preparation, stripping away what could not carry the weight of what I'm about to entrust to you. Think of David, the shepherd boy, anointed in secret. He did not ascend to the throne immediately. No, first he returned to the sheepfold, still smelling of oil, but left alone in the fields. Then came the battles, Goliath, betrayal from Saul, years of hiding in caves, living in fear, leading misfits. He did not look like a king, but I saw his heart. And it was in the wilderness, not the palace, where he became a man after my heart. That's where he learned worship in solitude, courage under pressure, and trust beyond logic. This is your wilderness too, and like David, you are not forgotten, you are being formed. The kingship comes later. First comes the cave. Remember Moses. He was drawn out of the water and raised among royalty, yet his purpose was not found in Egypt's halls. It took exile. It took a burning bush in obscurity. He questioned his worth, doubted his voice, and tried to escape the assignment. But I chose him anyway. I equipped him in his weakness. I gave him signs when he doubted, and I placed my words in his reluctant mouth. He led a nation not because he was bold, but because he finally believed that I could be strong in his frailty. You too have looked at your past and asked, how could you use me? And my answer is the same now as it was then. Because I am the one who sends you. Your weakness is not disqualification. It is the opening for my glory. And Elijah, who called down fire but later wept beneath the broom tree wishing to die, even he, with all his miracles, with all his obedience, felt the weight of loneliness and the cost of calling. He believed he was the last one left. He cried out, "It's too much." And what did I do? I sent an angel to strengthen him. I fed him. I whispered not in the earthquake or the fire, but in a gentle breeze. I reminded him he was not alone. You, my beloved, are not alone either. Even in the cave of despair, I send strength. Even in your exhaustion, I provide fresh bread. Even when your voice shakes, I still call you prophet. Let's not forget Hannah, who wept bitterly in the temple, misunderstood by those around her, mocked for her barrenness. She poured out her soul when no one else could see the depth of her pain. But I did. I heard her. And in her agony, I planted purpose. The very pain she carried gave birth to Samuel, a prophet, a leader, a shift in history. Her delay became destiny. Her tears became the soil for legacy. The same is true for you. The longing that feels unbearable is the womb of something eternal. Do not despise your cries. They are birthing something sacred. And look at Esther, an orphan raised in a foreign land who never sought power but was positioned for purpose. She did not ask for a crown yet. I placed her where she could influence kings. But before she could fulfill her purpose, she had to risk everything. She had to step into a moment of terror with only one truth to hold. Perhaps I was born for such a time as this. My child, you too were born for such a time. You too are standing at the threshold of divine confrontation. Do not shrink back. Do not silence your voice. The risk may be great, but so is the reward. I give you these stories not as distant history, but as personal reminders. These were not perfect people. These were not fearless heroes. They were flawed, afraid, and often reluctant. But I used them, and I will use you. The same fire that refined them is refining you. The same voice that called them is calling you now. The same spirit that empowered them is breathing on you. You are not writing a new story. You are stepping into an ancient one, a story of covenant, of calling, of kingdom. So the next time you feel unqualified, remember Moses. When you feel forgotten, remember David. When you feel alone, remember Elijah. When you feel barren, remember Hannah. When you feel invisible, remember Esther. And above all, remember this: I, the Lord, do not change. If I called them and fulfilled every promise, I will do the same for you. Their lives were not easier than yours. They were simply anchored in faith. And that faith, even the size of a mustard seed, can move mountains. Do not envy those who have walked easier paths. They are not carrying what you carry. They are not marked the way you are marked. Your pain has purpose. Your history has been written by my hand. Your process has been protected by my spirit, and your future is sealed by my covenant. You are not a wandering soul trying to find meaning. You are a sent one, a planted one, a chosen vessel on divine assignment. So honor your path. It is holy. Honor your scars. They are sacred. Honor your story. It is mine. My child, now that you've begun to see your life through the lens of heaven, you must also awaken to what is unfolding around you now. You are not merely coming to understand the past, you are stepping into the now moment of my spirit. This is not just a season of realization, it is a season of activation. The time has shifted, the atmosphere has changed. What you once sensed from afar is now standing at your door. You feel it, don't you? That stirring deep within, that subtle trembling beneath the surface of your soul, that sacred unease that tells you something is being awakened, something is moving, something is coming alive. That is not your imagination, that is confirmation, You have entered a divine window, a threshold where heaven is closer than before. This is the season where I accelerate what has been delayed, where I reveal what has been hidden, where I restore what seemed lost. It is the time of revealing. The cocoon is splitting, the ground is shaking, and the light you have carried in secret is being summoned into visibility. The gifts that have lain dormant are now being activated. The anointing you once questioned is being stirred. The voice you silenced is being called forth. This is not merely a season of waiting. This is a season of unveiling. Do not misread the pressure. What you are feeling is not anxiety, it is divine contraction. It is the inner groaning of your spirit responding to my timing. The weariness that's tried to settle on your shoulders is not depression. It is resistance to the momentum of heaven that is building within you. You are not breaking down. You are breaking through. You are not being buried. You are being positioned. The wind is changing direction and you must adjust your sails. You must pay attention. Your discernment is increasing because I am speaking more frequently, more clearly, more urgently. I am revealing instructions, confirming patterns, aligning connections. The signal has gone out in the spirit, and I am calling those who are willing to respond. You've asked me many times when Lord and I have waited for you to ask, how now? Here we are. I am not just preparing something for you. I have been preparing you for something, and now that time has arrived. The way you feel things shifting, the interruptions in your routine, the dreams that now feel sharper, the words that come unexpectedly to your mouth, these are not random. They are spiritual alerts. I am awakening you from spiritual slumber. I am lifting the fog from your eyes. You are no longer in preparation alone. You are in activation. So why do you still hesitate? Why do you still question if this is truly for you? Have I not been patient? Have I not confirmed my word over and over again? Have I not proven that my hand was upon you when others turned away? Did I not carry you through trials that should have drowned your faith? And yet here you are, still standing, still breathing, still listening. That alone is proof that you are mine. That alone is evidence that the oil on your life was not poured in vain. Listen to me. Now you will not miss what I have for you unless you refuse to move. And moving forward begins with agreement. Not with action born of anxiety, but with surrender born of awareness. I am not asking you to fix everything. I am asking you to say yes. Yes to the stirring. Yes to the shift. Yes to the responsibility that comes with being awakened. You are not being called to chase opportunity. You are being called to recognize alignment. The things that once drained you will no longer demand your energy. The places that once fit will now feel foreign. The words you once held back will now burn like fire in your bones. This is how you will know the season has changed. Your tolerance for pretending will vanish. You will not be able to play along with what grieves my spirit. You will find yourself hungering for silence, for consecration, for clarity. You will feel the urgency to clean your space, your schedule, your heart. You will feel a holy discomfort with anything that distracts or distorts. That is not you becoming antisocial. That is me setting you apart. That is me sanctifying you for the next. Pay attention to your environment. I am reordering things. Relationships are shifting not because people are bad, but because not everyone is called to walk where you're going. Let them go. Release with peace. Do not fight to hold what I am removing. Some connections were seasonal. Some influences were assignments for that phase. But this is a new phase, and I am calling you higher. That means detaching from what kept you small. That means walking away from what diluted your discernment. That means trusting that I will bring the right people at the right time to run beside you in the next stretch. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not less than those who seem further along. You have been moving at the pace of obedience, and obedience will always place you in divine timing. I am not comparing you to others. I am measuring you by your surrender. And now that your heart is soft again, now that your ears are tuned again, now that your spirit is leaning in, I am about to pour out more than you thought you could carry. But with this outpouring comes stewardship. I am not giving you clarity so you can hide. I am not revealing the truth so you can remain comfortable. I am sending you, and I am sending you now. The awakening within you is not for entertainment, it is for empowerment. Others are waiting for what you carry. There are people whose breakthroughs are tied to your obedience. The words I've given you will unlock chains. The presence you carry will shift rooms. The authority you walk in will heal what others could not even name. You must no longer ask, "Why me?" You must begin to declare, "Here I am." This is your appointed time. This is your designated window. This is the day that heaven wrote about you before you breathed your first breath. And now, as I stir your spirit, as I quicken your thoughts, as I prepare your feet, I ask you again, will you respond? Not someday, not later, but now, because I am already moving. And the only question left is, will you move with me? My child, the time for hesitation has passed. The winds of heaven are not waiting. The movement of my spirit is not pausing. I am not delaying your destiny for one more moment, not because I'm in a rush, but because everything has been made ready. And now I place before you a divine decision. No more circling the same mountain. No more asking questions I've already answered. No more hiding behind fear disguised as caution. You have heard me. You have sensed me. You have felt me draw near. Now I am asking for your answer. Will you come with me, or will you let this pass you by? Make no mistake, this moment is not common. It is not ordinary. This is the threshold where destinies are determined, where futures shift, where the weight of obedience either unlocks or delays what I have purposed. I am not speaking to inspire you. I am speaking to require something from you, because what I'm calling you into cannot be entered with half-hearted surrender. It requires everything. Not because I desire to take from you, but because what I desire to give you will stretch every part of your soul. The time for negotiating with your calling is over. You must choose. You must decide, will you cling to what is familiar, or will you step into what is eternal? I know the cost. I see the questions swirling in your mind. What if I fail? What if I'm not enough? What if I'm misunderstood? But let me ask you this. What if you are exactly who I say you are? What if you were never meant to play it safe? What if the risk isn't stepping forward but staying behind? Because staying where you are will cost you more than leaving what's comfortable. It will cost you peace. It will cost you joy. It will cost you time that cannot be recovered. You have already lost enough to fear. Don't give it anything more. I am not calling you to perfection. I am calling you to obedience. I am not asking you to have all the answers. I am asking you to trust that I do. I am not calling you because you are the most skilled or the most prepared. I am calling you because you are willing, and in your willingness, I will do what strength never could. If you step forward, I will fill your mouth. If you move, I will order your steps. If you open your hands, I will place in them more than you could ask or imagine. But I will not force you. I have given you the power to choose. And now I am watching to see if you will respond, not just in words, but in movement. Think carefully. How many more seasons do you want to spend watching others live the life you were called to? How many more confirmations do you need before you believe I'm speaking to you? How many more sleepless nights will you endure knowing there's more, yet doing nothing to step into it? I am not the one withholding. I am the one waiting. Waiting for your full yes. Waiting for your soul to align with what your spirit already knows. Waiting for you to say, I will not go back. I will not shrink. I will not delay. This is your moment to divorce the lies that have held you hostage. The lie that says you are too broken. The lie that says you missed your chance. The lie that says you don't have what it takes. I, the Lord, break those lies now. I silence the voices of shame and accusation. I remove the garments of doubt and dress you in garments of strength. I anoint your head with oil and place authority on your shoulders. You are not who fear says you are. You are who I say you are. You are my warrior. You are my messenger. You are my light in dark places, and the world needs what you carry. But you must act. You must write the vision, speak the truth, set your face like flint, cancel the distractions, end the delays. This is not just a private conviction, it must become a public declaration. I am calling you to step out of hiding. The gifts I placed in you were not meant to be buried. The dreams I gave you are not decorations, they are assignments. And every day you wait is a day of missed impact. Every excuse adds weight to your feet. But the moment you say yes, truly, yes, chains will break, resources will flow, favor will surround you, and alignment will overtake delay. This is your threshold. This is your Red Sea moment. This is your Jordan crossing. There is no turning back. If you retreat now, you will feel the ache of what could have been. But if you advance even trembling, even unsure, you will see me meet you with fire. Do not think you must be brave. You must only be obedient. Courage comes after movement. Power is revealed in motion. And as you step, the ground will form beneath your feet. You will not fall. You will not fail. Because I go before you. Some may not understand your decision. Some will question your pace. Some will challenge your convictions. But you do not owe explanations for a divine mandate. When I call, your response is not up for debate. It is holy, it is final, and it is now. Do not rehearse the reasons to wait. Do not review your inadequacies one more time. I did not consult your resume before I chose you. I consulted my purpose, and my purpose remains. So here is your choice. My beloved, stay safe or step out. Live familiar or live fulfilled. Keep managing your fear or walk in fire. You cannot do both. You cannot cling to control and carry the kingdom. You cannot please everyone and follow me fully. You cannot stay small and live the life I dreamed over you. So decide. Decide today, because this window will not remain open forever. The angel of breakthrough is already moving. The oil is already flowing. The divine moment has already begun. Will you enter it? Will you rise? Will you finally become everything I've been whispering in the shadows? Or will you let this moment pass, only to wonder later what could have been? I am not threatening you. I am inviting you. I am not condemning you. I am commissioning you. And if you say yes, truly, deeply, fully, yes, I will take you places you never imagined, use you in ways you never planned, and bring through you a harvest that will echo into eternity. My child, now that you have stood at the threshold and heard the call for decision, I now instruct you to move, not in emotion, but in obedience, not in haste, but in alignment. Your breakthrough is no longer a far-off promise, it is waiting on the other side of your agreement. And agreement is not only internal, it must be embodied, it must be written, it must be spoken, it must be sealed with visible faith. I am asking you now to take action, not just because action proves belief, but because your movement in the natural confirms your position in the spiritual. You are stepping into something sacred, and heaven is watching to see how you respond. Take this seriously. This moment is a transaction between realms. What you release now will be honored by angels. What you declare now will shake the unseen. What you write now will stand as covenant. I instruct you. My child, take something and write these words. No more holding back. Not as a slogan, not as a fleeting phrase, as a vow, as a mark, as a declaration to all that once tried to limit you, fear, shame, doubt, regret. Write it boldly, say it aloud, etch it into your spirit. No more holding back. With that act, you open the gates of movement. You uncap what has been clogged. You authorize what I have long prepared. You confirm to heaven that you are ready. This is not about performance. This is about positioning. You do not have to strive to make things happen. You only need to step into the place where things begin to happen through you. You are not the source. I am. But I cannot pour where there is no container. And your declaration, your action, that is the vessel. That is the cup. That is the landing space for my glory. So prepare the altar. Prepare your home. Prepare your heart. Clear out what no longer aligns. Speak what I've told you to speak. Reclaim the words you buried in fear. Restore the dreams you locked away for safety. It is time to walk again like someone who knows they were chosen. I am not calling you to shout louder. I am calling you to walk in quiet confidence. I am not requiring you to announce everything to everyone. I am requiring you to move differently. You will begin to feel it in your posture, your pace, your choices. Where you once asked for permission, you will now carry authority. Where you once explained your value, you will now embody it. Where you once waited to be seen, you will now step into visibility, not for recognition, but for obedience. Because when I say, it is time, no more waiting is needed. Let me tell you what will happen as you act. Resources will respond. Doors will recognize you. People will remember you without explanation. What once seemed blocked will begin to part. Not because circumstances magically change, but because you have come into alignment with the kairos of heaven. Time is bending to obedience. Creation is groaning for revealed sons and daughters. And as you step, the earth will shift. Not all at once, but with unmistakable momentum. You'll sense it. The atmosphere will thicken with weight. Your spirit will feel fire behind your words. Your peace will return with force. And you will know this is what I was created for. But be aware this shift will confront old habits. You will feel the temptation to return to comfort, the impulse to overthink, the fear of failure whispering in subtle tones. That is not my voice. Do not entertain it. You have already heard me clearly. Do not dilute the divine by consulting fear. You don't need to rehearse old doubts. You need to remind your soul of what I have spoken. Speak it again, no more holding back. Say it when doubt rises. Say it when weariness tempts you. Say it when nothing seems to move. Because your agreement doesn't come from outcome, it comes from alignment. I know what this requires. I know how vulnerable you feel. I know you've stepped before and been disappointed. But this is different. This is not a recycled cycle. This is a divine opening. And even if your knees shake, even if your voice trembles, even if you don't feel qualified, I will meet you. I always meet those who move in faith. I honor those who say yes when comfort screams no. I strengthen those who surrender even when they don't see the full path. You are not being foolish. You are being faithful. And heaven always responds to faith. Now, my child, do something physical. Take one step. Send that message, schedule that meeting, post that video, begin that journal, register that name, call that person, sow that seed. Whatever I am prompting you to do, do it now. Do not wait until you feel ready. Readiness comes in motion, and as you act, I will guide your hand. You will not stumble. You will not miss. I will go before you and behind you. I will cover you with grace. You are not being cast into chaos. You are being launched into divine flow. This is not small. This is not ordinary. This is the moment everything begins to change. And it starts with a whisper, a pen stroke, a breath of courage, a step of obedience. I am watching. The angels are recording. Your future is listening. Creation is leaning in. Say it again. No more holding back. And let that be your anthem. Let it echo through your home. Let it ring in your habits. Let it shape your prayers. Let it direct your plans. And soon what was once a whisper will become a roar. What was once potential will become power. What was once a promise will become a platform. My child, I am with you. I am for you. I have never left your side. And now I am calling you to walk not just in faith, but in fire. You are not a spectator in this story. You are the vessel. You are the sign. You are the proof that I still speak, still call, still move. So write it, declare it, move into it, and never again hold back. My child, now that your heart has awakened, your soul aligned, and your spirit has stepped forward, let me lead you into prayer. Not the kind that simply asks, but the kind that transforms. Not the kind that pleads from a place of lack, but the kind that declares from a place of inheritance. This is not a routine moment of devotion. This is a divine transaction, a sacred exchange. As you pray now, you are sealing the work I've begun. You are confirming that what has stirred in your spirit will not be left in silence. You are not just saying words, you are stepping into identity, into agreement, into power. So breathe deep, still your soul, and pray with me. Father, I come before you as I am, not as I've tried to appear, not as others have expected, but as you've always seen me, wounded and willing, afraid and awakening, uncertain and yet still chosen. I bring you the weight of every year I've spent questioning, hiding, and holding back. I bring you the pain I didn't know where to put, the tears I never thought counted, the silence that wrapped itself around my purpose. And now I place them all in your hands, not with regret, but with trust. I trust that you will use every broken piece. I trust that nothing I've walked through was wasted. I trust that your plan for my life is still alive. Even when I tried to run, even when I forgot who I was, even when I closed my heart to protect it, you never stopped calling my name. You never let go. You never changed your mind. Today, I let go. I let go of every false name I answered to, unworthy, unqualified, too much, too late. I let go of the shame that has clung to me like a cloak. I let go of the fear that told me I wasn't ready. I let go of the belief that I have to earn what you've already given. And in letting go, I lift my hands to receive. I receive healing in the deepest parts of me. I receive restoration for every year the enemy stole. I receive boldness to walk where I once shrank. I receive clarity in the places where confusion ruled. I receive identity not shaped by trauma or trends, but defined by you alone. Father, I declare what is true even when I still feel weak. I declare I am yours. I declare I am chosen, appointed, set apart. I declare that I am not my past. I am not my mistakes. I am not the fear I've carried or the pain I've known. I declare that I have been marked by heaven for this time, this place, this purpose. I declare that no weapon formed against me will prosper. I declare that I will no longer sabotage what you are building in me. I will no longer postpone obedience. I will no longer bow to intimidation. I will no longer run from what I've been graced to carry. You have spoken over me, and I believe you. You have anointed me, and I embrace it. You have refined me in fire, and I will no longer fear the flame. I was made to walk through storms and carry peace. I was made to speak light into dark rooms. I was made to shake atmospheres with the truth of your presence. I was made to reflect you not when I'm perfect, but when I'm surrendered. So I surrender again, completely, fully, without reservation. This is not a temporary moment of passion. This is a permanent return to alignment. I give you my life, my time, my gifts, my voice, my tears, my future. Use it all, multiply it all. Let my life preach when my words are silent. Let my obedience speak louder than my history. And now, Father, I ask you to fill me again. Breathe into every dry place. Reignite every cold ember. Reclaim every forgotten dream. Restore the rhythm of heaven in my soul. I don't want a surface encounter, I want reformation. I want to think like you, feel like you, move like you, love like you. I ask for your spirit to burn through me until there is no part of me untouched by your presence. Remove the fear of man. Break the power of passivity. Deliver me from double-mindedness. Raise me up as one who walks in power, in purity, in clarity, and in love. I say yes again. I say yes in advance to what I don't yet see. I say yes to the stretching, to the pruning, to the process. I say yes to the favor, the pressure, the doors, the assignments. I say yes to visibility and to hiddenness. I say yes to waiting and to running. I say yes to the fire and the oil, because if you are in it, I want it. If you are calling me, I will come. If you are sending me, I will go, not by strength, but by spirit, not by might, but by mercy, not by fear, but by faith. So let this prayer be my altar. Let this moment be my turning point. Let this declaration be the ground on which I stand. And from this day forward, let my life no longer be shaped by survival, but by surrender. No more hiding, no more excuses, no more holding back. I am yours completely, permanently, eternally. In Jesus' name, I pray. Amen.